Evan, you're injured?
I have carpal tunnel, so I wear a brace to bed every night.
I just ordered a
But
brace for me.
I picked something up so wrong today, and I just twisted it the wrong way, and oh my god, like, I feel like I have, like, the brittlest bones ever. Like, I've been trying to pack on the meat so I at least don't have just, like, skin to bone.
Yeah.
But I got some tiny-ass wrists, and those babies cannot do that well anymore.
Lena, since the last time we recorded, you've had your moment with the podcast boys. Would you like to take a minute with that?
Yes,
Your journey.
I was gonna say,
We still have a photo that is held hostage.
Yeah.
no, the Kyle Gass one?
Yeah, that one
Bro.
is held hostage.
Okay. For the people out there, for the 2 people who care. I went and saw This Is Important live. I'll take it off the wall so I can show you guys. I have my
For
poster
the viewers,
framed. Hold on.
who are the individuals? I mean, the listeners. I'm so stupid.
This
who
is
are these
Anders Holm and
individuals?
Adam Devine's podcast.
It's the creators of and stars of Workaholics. It's Anders Holm, Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect fame, Bumper, Blake Anderson, and Kyle Newacek. And they did a show in my hometown of Columbus last month, and I drove down to see them, and I got to meet them. And the company that ran it, for some fucking reason, just like, they were like, oh yeah, we'll upload them on Monday. The show is on Saturday. They were like, we'll upload them first thing Monday. They did not get uploaded until after my friend sent several emails. And they were uploaded Friday.
Did they end up even editing, like, your theory why they were taking
so
long?
Okay, so this is someone they had like a step and repeat, like a banner that they were taking photos in front of for all the other shows, and someone must have forgot it for Columbus or just didn't bring it, or
so you didn't have
a
a banner for your photos.
We took photos in front of a blank wall, and not like a blank wall, like just the theater wall. And my theory was that the pictures were being withheld because they were, like, editing the logo into the background or something.
Yeah, they
that
do
way people...
shit like that all the time.
Because it's
VIPs.
advertisement for the podcast, and it's advertisement for the, VIP company that they're working with, which I just felt like was kind of a shit show. And then, so I met them by myself. I was with 2 of my mutuals on Twitter. We met up at the show because they're from Pennsylvania, and
it was so sweet.
It was really sweet. They're a couple, and they said that when they kind of like first started dating, or both first started getting into the show, they like followed me on Twitter, and they were like, they literally said to me verbatim, "You're the niche internet micro celebrity in our relationship." Aww. It's really, they were like, "It's so weird to meet you because we'll talk about your posts like to each other." And I was like,
That's
are
so
you
cute.
serious?
No,
so,
do they listen to the podcast?
They don't. Okay. I don't think they're shameless fans, but it was really sweet to meet them. And now I'm like, okay, we're like legit friends. But so they went, we like stood in line together, and they went before me, and I had been drinking. But I had, because I was so fucking nervous, but I had sobered up by the time, like, it was time to meet them, because they closed the bar when the show started.
Oh, lame. So you couldn't get a drink during the show?
No. So I
fuck?
was like, I walking up was like, I have to be so normal because I'm so not normal about these people that I have to be really normal when I meet them. So I shit you not, I got really shy. Pretty much all I said was, "Nice to meet you. Great show." I like literally like didn't, no indication even that I'm like a fan of theirs. Like I was just like
like you watched the show casually and you're like, I
it
don't need to
was
go
so
meet them.
polite. I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you. Like, really great show." And I was like, why did I say that? Anyway,
it's the celebrity meet and greet blackout.
No, that's literally me every time I meet a celebrity.
Gorgeous.
Slay.
My picture down there.
Nice.
So I told them that I wanted to pose like hard, and I crossed my arms. I was like like this.
I have a photo of me and We the Kings doing that exact pose.
I just thought it'd be silly. I was like, yeah. And they said they were gonna take 2 pictures, but here's what happened. And
Lena was scammed by
I
a
wasn't
celebrity.
scammed, but well, it's like okay, kind of cool, but also like weird as fuck. So, we're like getting ready to pose for the like first photo, and some guy walks through my picture and starts taking selfies with the guys, kind of like one by one, and then because I'm standing between Blake and Adam, like he takes a picture with like him, Adam, me, and Blake, and I'm kind of like, and I'm not like fully sober, but I'm kind of like, what just happened? And I was already so nervous, like meeting them by myself. First of all, psychological torture. I had to meet Anders first, which, if you know anything about me, that is sick and twisted. Psychological torture. Can I tell you guys, he was really scary.
Oh my
god! Like,
he looks scary just in.
He's
photos.
very tall. He's very tall, and I feel like there was just like darkness behind those eyes. Like he was hiding something sinister. Probably.
Are they all like in their 30s?
They're in their 40s, bro.
They're in their 40s
like,
now? Damn.
Well, Adam is about to be 40, and Anders is like 42.
Jesus. That concept of time is not real.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, I like didn't even get to like give you guys the full lowdown, so sorry if I'm like taking up too much time. But I like wasn't sure what to do, like, because I was like, is it weird to like hug them? Like, I feel like that's really like intimate, and I'm strange. So
Bitch,
I was.
If I paid $100, I'm gonna hug you.
Zoe and Stevie straight up asked David Tennant for a hug. Stevie's like, "Can I have a hug?" And then Zoe was like, "I would like a hug."
Did David say yes?
So because I had been watching people going before me, and some people were like going in for like some people they had been like shaking their hands. So I wasn't sure what the protocol would be.
Yeah.
But then I walk up to Anders and he's like, "Hey," and I like almost went to hold out my hand, and he like, and I was like, okay, like, okay, I guess. And then Adam,
he opened himself up for the hug, and you went for the hug.
Yeah, and then so after he did it, I was like, okay, this is just gonna be what it is. Adam was easily like the most approachable, even though he's like the most famous. That's like he's easily the most approachable.
He seems like the chillest out of all of them.
Yeah, he was really nice. I think he could tell that I was super nervous because he's the one who did most of the talking to me. He might be the one who did all of the talking.
He just
to me
always has
so
seemed more like personable than
like, well,
a lot of celebrities.
Durs was white girl wasted. So he wasn't. I don't even know what other people did. And then Kyle is just really awkward. Like I could just tell. Like I was like, oh, this isn't your thing. Like being on stage and like you've done some acting, but you're really like kind of a behind the scenes guy. And then Blake was just like hanging out, but because he's chill like that. But so dude walks through my photos, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because immediately after, he like just walks out of the venue. No one stopped him. I didn't see like a pass or anything. So I was like, what the what the fuck? Because the photos are being like held hostage, I post on like the Reddit group and the Facebook group, and I'm like, did anybody see who that was? Like, does anybody know who that guy is, or like maybe is like friends with him? Because I would really like those photos, because as of right now, they're the only photos in existence of me.
Yeah,
with
like
the
you
guys.
don't even know if you're gonna even get your photo to be
exactly, because the company like hadn't been responding to anybody's like emails or tweets or anything, and people start responding to me on Reddit, and they're like, yeah, that was Kyle Gass from Tenacious D. And I was like, huh? And they were like, yeah, he was at the show. Like, I yelled out, like, hey, Kyle, like, whatever. But there's a Kyle in the podcast, so, like, that's who I thought they were talking about. And also, like, yeah, it happened so fast that I didn't even, like, see it was him. Like, all I saw was a phone in my face and the back of the guy's head as he walked away. And I was like...
And when you don't know that it's Kyle Glass, he just looks like some dude.
Yeah, no, I stalked him, and I was like, he did not look like what you remembered Tenacious D to look like. So I was like,
not
that's
at all.
just some
especially
guy.
Because, like, especially because he's a little older now, and I think
exactly.
like, the Tenacious D stuff I've seen was from, like, back in the day. And
it was literally from, like, early
obviously
2000s.
Jack Black is still a huge presence, but either way, I like had no clue it was him. And also I was kind of like, what the fuck would he be doing in Columbus, Ohio? Like, that's really strange.
Maybe
But
he resides there.
he does. And I think he's also on tour. But the guys talked about it. They were like, yep, Kyle Gass came to the Columbus show. And I was like, yep, I'm very familiar. I know. I'm really familiar. Well, so after that happened.
Well, you got 2 meet and greets for the price of 1.
No, seriously. After that happened, like, it was like my confidence was just kind of shot, unfortunately, because I was just like, that was like really like shocking a little bit, especially because I didn't know who it was.
It just seemed like some guy. Yeah.
So I just kind of left. I was like, okay, like, really nice to meet you guys. And Adam like reached out to me and was like, thank you so much again for coming, like, very genuinely. And I was pretty appreciative. And then I left. But yeah, I DM'd Kyle on Instagram. No response. He did post a picture with he did post a picture with the guys from backstage, but I literally DM'd him and I was like, hey, KG, you don't know me. But I was that girl in your pictures, the redhead with the green shirt and the white tank top. Can you send those to me?
Does he have a Twitter?
Yeah, and an Instagram.
Kyle
did not want to DM him on
photo.
Twitter because I am not going to send a DM from @DursHolmvik and be like, do you have the pictures of me with TII? Like a crazy person. So I actually DM'd him from like my personal Instagram. And he has not responded. So I fear he will never respond and I will never get those photos. I did say though, I was like, you don't have to send them to me because I know they're on like his personal phone, but I was like, I'm in them, dude.
Yeah.
I'm in those pictures. Least you could do is send them to me
without consent, and now you deserve to see them at least.
No, seriously. I was like, but I will say, like, Kyle was filming the whole night, like, on his camcorder, and so hopefully if he makes a little, like, tour recap video, I'm in it.
Someone might have been recording from afar when he jumps into the meet and greet, and that could be like a whole scene. Maybe footage.
No one was. Well, that's kind of silly. That would be really, really silly, actually. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. One thing that did happen that I was a little bummed about was, so I have a t-shirt that, okay. The guys have a shirt with Blink-182 that says, I miss the old Blink-182, and it has a picture of Adam, Blake, and Anders on it. I have a shirt that just says Fallout Boy, and it's got Adam, Blake, Kyle, and Durs on it. And I was gonna wear it to the show. I thought about it, but then I like chickened out. But like that night, they talked about Fallout Boy for a little bit because they were like, "Oh, Isaac, our manager, loves Fallout Boy," and I got to like, I got to like, right? I got to like say hi to Isaac. Because Isaac came out and was just like standing nearby and everybody was like saying hi to him because they talk about him all the time. And I was like, man, I wish I would have worn that shirt. Like,
you would have been a topic. Was the meet and greet before or after the show?
It was after. And that's good because I think if it was before, it would have been worse because I needed to be like desensitized to them on stage for a while. So yeah, that's my story, and what a story it is. Thanks for letting me talk
related
for
to
a really long time.
Boys that we all love, Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day and oh my god, Rob's wife, the lovely Caitlin Olsen. We're all at the Phillies game last night because I said in a past episode of one of these last 3, I wonder if the Phillies are going to make it to the postseason. They've made it to the postseason.
The Orioles
I'm very
didn't.
Excited. Yeah, fuck the Orioles. I'm so
fuck
sorry.
you. You don't even live in Philly anymore, so.
But we beat the fuck out of the Braves. We beat them so bad. Fuck you, you racist ass pieces of shit. Go home. Go home.
God.
Best offense in baseball. Fuck yourselves. So now we just have to get through the Arizona Diamondbacks. We've already beat them twice. We have to beat them twice more. And then we get to go to the World Series.
Who's the other team slated to be? Is it the
Unfortunately,
Astros again?
It's either the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros. Yeah.
All right.
Damn, double Texas.
It's whoever wins their series. Right now, the Rangers are up 2-0 in the series. It's the best of 7 series, but they're playing right now. Today is October 18th. And the Astros are up 5-2 in the top of the 7th.
Well, because we're still holding them, right?
Yeah, we're still holding them until the strike is over.
Yeah, guys, sorry. This is still a hoarded podcast. So, yeah, it's October 18th at 10
We're going to have to post some serious photos when these drop. I'll post my TII photo on the gram.
I honestly will have to listen back to all the fucking podcasts at this point to know what we
I don't remember what we even talked about.
No, literally.
It'll be nice, though. It'll be nice after we edit them and after I post them. I will have not listened to the edit in a good long while, too. It's normally that I listen to the edit, I post it, and then I listen to it the next day. But, like...
Because we're only on episode 3, and I think it's literally taken us 3 months at this point again.
Yeah.
It's a good thing there's
the strike is still going on, baby.
Yeah, once this is up, that means SAG has gotten a fair deal. But let's get into it, shall we? This is The Luck We Had, a shameless recap podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey. Thank you for waiting out the strike with us.
We're still here. We hope you are.
We're in season 6, episode 3, The F Word.
Wait, what's your name?
Oh, my name's Amanda.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Lena.
And we are insane people who love Shameless and love to scream about it, even at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night. Let's do it.
Literally saw a TikTok right before I opened this up of Emmy and Ethan, and I was like, thank you. Oh, are we gonna just a little recap on that?
They posted a selfie together recently.
Yeah, we've had a lot of crossovers. Noel and fucking Cameron and Isadora. And was Emma there?
I think Emma was there.
Emma.
At Shanola's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve was there.
And Steve.
Meanwhile, Cam has just been off doing his weird
in England
shit with his weird mustache.
He's a mullet now, too, I think. He's really pulling mullet mustache.
We had a Emmy and Ethan crossover. It looked like they bumped into each other at the park. That's genuinely what it looked like.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
But that was cute. She hasn't
posted a picture with a former cast member in a good long while.
She's at least acknowledged them, would be right? Him. Yeah. Of all people, no, it's really cute.
He was seriously little brother.
Yeah.
But it was very cute. It looked like Fiona and Carl. It was a very sweet picture.
Yeah. I was like, sometimes when I look at, no shade to Ethan because I love him, but sometimes when I look at him, I'm like, maybe sometimes child actors shouldn't be that involved in things. Because I'm just like, that kid just seems like he's just vibing for the rest of his life and just I don't know. I get such Carl energy from him in the nicest way possible.
I guess it's fair though, because it's you worked so hard when you were a kid that now you just get to coast a little.
And then also
who knows what he's actually up to?
Not to be deep, but they remember how Emma talked about she had a lot of addictions at a really young age, just because she was such around an environment that was just heavy subjects on that matter. Or am I talking out my ass?
No. I know somebody who lived in her hometown, and there was a time that she got she was really young and drunk, and the cops picked her up, but because she was famous, she kind of got away with it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was specifically because Shameless talked a lot about addiction. I think it was just being in the industry in general. But it's always funny looking at Ethan and Emmy because they look so much like siblings to me, and I think Cameron and Emma look, obviously because they're both redheads, but I think
Jeremy's the only one who doesn't look like any of the kids, but it would I think he looks like William.
He used
looks
to resemble Ethan a little.
Yeah.
I think
they got the bug eyes.
He does look like Bill.
He does resemble Bill a lot. I think
Monica's
just gorgeous. Do any of them look like Monica?
No.
And
what's her actress's name?
Chloe Webb.
Chloe.
And the thing about casting Emmy was at first I do feel like they casted her because she was so talented, but they didn't really think about how they would have to build around her.
Yeah.
As people who looked like her they could be her siblings, so instead they tried to find people who looked like Bill. Well, because Ian and Debbie are supposed to look like Frank's brother.
Yeah, I was about to say fucking Ian isn't even supposed to look like anyone.
Yeah.
Anyways, love the cast. Happy they're all seeing each other again.
And we discussed before this, we will not be discussing the intimate details of Jeremy Allen White's personal life, because it's frankly none of our business what's come out in the last couple of days. And if you don't know what we're talking about, great. It's none of our business.
Right. Like, obviously, celebrity gossip's a huge industry and everybody likes to be nosy, but it is really strange that so many details were leaked to the public.
Yeah. It was
or that people just feel like they can, like, talk about it. I will say most people in comment sections that I saw were saying, like, this is none of my business. Like, why should I care? You know? Or, like, this feels really exploitative. So it's just, like, you know.
Yeah.
People are at least saying where the line is.
Yeah, it's one thing when it was like, oh, there's a Dumois rumor that they might be breaking up. Oh, there's a rumor. But like now it's like, I actually don't need to know the personal details of their childcare. I don't need to know that.
Yeah. So
yeah. Just a lot of intense
if you don't know about it,
we don't need to know about.
If you don't know about it, you don't need to know about it. You don't need to look it up. So that's
and it's definitely old news by now. Whenever this episode's coming out.
That's very true.
And again, season 6, episode 3, the F word. This is the first time I've ever seen this episode.
Great fucking episode.
So good. We've talked about this a lot. I think me and Evan, we've just been like, oh, the F word, great episode. Like
me and Fiona in this episode, I love her, but I'm like, I have such a love-hate with her because I'm like, this song is so good, but I love Fiona so much.
Yeah, this is January 24th, 2016.
Let's all date ourselves. I was 15.
Yeah. I was 20? I was 20.
Lena, were you 13 or 14?
I was 13. Wait.
This was 7, almost
math.
8 years ago.
So true, math. Well, because it depends on where it is in the year.
Do January your age minus 8 right now.
13. Yeah. Which is so weird because I was watching the show live at this point.
I definitely
wasn't.
I was fucked up. Season 6 was the first season I watched entirely live. I think I caught the finale of season 5 live. Like that was when I caught up. And then season 6 was the first one I watched.
You know what? I was probably watching live. You know what? No, Lena, if I'm dating this correctly, I would have been starting Shameless in like
probably
October of like this year because I didn't start watching until my freshman year of high school.
I had been watching since the pilot, so I had been watching for 6 years. So I started it when I was 14.
I'm in the latter half of 2016. I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah. Okay, it was written by Krista Vernoff. This is the 6th of 8 of her Shameless episodes, so we're toward the end with her. She did 303, May I Trim Your Hedges, and 309, Frank the Plumber, both really good episodes. 502, I'm the Liver, and 508, Uncle Carl. This is her only season 6 episode. Then she did 703, Home Sweet Homeless Shelter, and 708, You Sold Me the Laundromat, remember?
That's such a good episode, but so,
And then her final episode was 803, God Bless Her Rotting Soul.
Lena, can you remind me?
Digging a Hole, I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
So this is her 5th. This is her 5th of 8 Shameless episodes. And she's also a longtime writer and producer of Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, Private Practice, Charmed. She stays busy.
This Private Practice is another fucking doctor show.
It was a spin-off of Grey's Anatomy that happened in the early 2000s.
Where it's a private practice instead of a hospital.
Yep. It's the character Addison Montgomery and Amelia Shepard in California.
The only man from Grey's Anatomy I know is the hot man who played Cal in Euphoria.
McDreamy or McSteamy? One of the two.
McSteamy.
Sloan.
You mean McSteamy.
Sloan is his name, I think.
McDreamy's Patrick Dempsey, right? He was in Bridget Jones.
Yeah.
Is he the one who got shot?
He's also in Scream 3. You know Scream 3? The cop in Scream 3? That's Patrick Dempsey.
What the heck?
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Sidney Prescott from Scream plays Derek Shepard's sister.
Ha ha.
So funny.
That's cute.
So this was directed by Nisha Ganatra. This is her first and only episode of Shameless she directs. She's directed 1 or 2 episodes on a lot of really great shows like Welcome to Chippendales, Dollface, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Fresh Off the Boat, Mr. Robot, many, many more great shows.
I thought those episodes shot really nice, especially it was one and done.
I kind of hate the pace of this episode. I kind of can't stand it. It's written like a Grey's Anatomy episode, I think. It kind of pisses me off, but...
I feel like, Lena, don't you feel like season 6 has this pacing?
Yeah.
Amanda is just gonna keep on going like this.
It is also, like, as much as we love, like, May I Trim Your Hedges, it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't like, I think there's merit to letting a story breathe, and there's a lot of, like, cutting back and forth between storylines in this episode.
This is when they start to hit a stride where they don't have a lot of, like, emotionally heavy moments and like world-shattering, story-stopping moments. They have, like, some, you know, they have, like, sad stuff, sad storylines, but nothing ever really gets its, like, space.
Yeah, there's no, like, Monica except for, on the like, kitchen floor moment.
No, except for there's maybe, like, a couple random exceptions. I think like Ian gets a moment and Lip gets a moment.
And then Carl and Nick get a moment.
And Fiona, like, at the very
gets multiple
end.
Moments.
Yeah, but, like, it's nothing that defines an episode, I would say. It's nothing that makes an episode memorable in the same way that, like, except for, honestly, the exception to me is Carl and Nick, but there's nothing that defines an episode where you say, oh, I remember that episode because this thing happened in it.
Yeah, nothing, like, nothing drags along. A couple plot lines too, but, like, nothing really continues on through the ending of this, like, season. Like, I feel like it's a lot of just, like, finish the story, start a next one, end it. Like, it's a lot of, like, multiple stories. They take a couple episodes and then they close it and then they start something up and then the season's over. Like, it's like 2 main big stories they focus on, it seems like, and then all the little subplots and then the season's over.
Okay.
But it's good. Right. I enjoy season 6. I think it's the funnest season. I think it's, like, they start exploring a lot of new things because all the kids are super older now. Like, so, like, you definitely can see how they've been able to, like, take different routes with different characters. And, like, Carl and Debbie get a lot more of, like, being personable in this season, which I really enjoy because, like, they've always just been the babies. And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, you get I feel like you explore really a lot more with these characters.
Moment where, like, Lip and Ian have a closeness that they haven't had in a while.
Mm-hmm. I really like that.
Oh, there's a bit of that in this. There's a bit of conflict in that.
Ian in this season just looks so good. Like,
I get to that.
Guys, he's... did you make a little comment?
I get to that
yet.
I think this season's really carried on the backs of, like,
Lip, Ian,
Fiona.
This is Emmy earning her paycheck in this season.
Fiona and Lip, and, like, I wouldn't even say Frank. I would say, like, a little bit Ian, but not even, like, as much as he could have had.
And then obviously Debbie is, like, a really main focus because she's, like, pregnant, so, like, we're always checking in on her.
Yeah, but it's not like she doesn't carry the emotional weight of the season.
She's, like, literally the most boring part of this season.
Well, the synopsis of this episode is so much about her. It's Frank teaches Debbie how to work the welfare system to her advantage. And also, Kevin and Veronica visit a paralyzed Yanis in the hospital and try to make amends, only to have Yanis arrive home and try to kill the 2 Lisas with Kev's truck. Here's the thing about the Yanis storyline in this episode. It felt shoved in. It felt shoehorned in where it didn't belong.
They just had to end it.
It was serious. It was serious, like, attempt at comic relief, but it really was just sad to watch.
And it threw off the pace. Like, that's what bothered me, is, like, there's one too many storylines, and that's the one.
But I guess that's not totally Krista's fault, because it's, like, someone else started that storyline, and now she's got to finish it. But it's also, like, they could have kept him in the hospital for a little longer. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they...
Like, yep, he's in the hospital
like, immediately home.
Yeah.
The previously was done by Svetlana. Lena, you can do a good Svetlana impression, right? Do you want to read the quote of Svetlana's from the...
Putting her on the spot.
Okay, well, I don't remember how she says it, so I'll try. But next time you miss Shameless, I cut off your testicle and feed them to homeless dog who lives behind Alibi. But today you get the free pass. I tell you. I tell you.
Previously on Shameless. That's the only Svetlana in this whole episode, by the way.
I cut off your testicle.
Previously on Shameless, Debbie is pregnant and will absolutely not get an abortion.
It's just Sean, way past that at this point.
Yeah. Sean's off the wagon. Fiona fired Ian because, frankly, he was bad at that job. Kev accidentally cut the brakes of his neighbor, and now the man is very hurt. Oh, and Fiona's pregnant.
Oh, yeah, Fiona's pregnant. Anyways, here's me and Dermot.
There he
Oh, that's
Sean
cute.
himself. Title credits. Still getting Jimmy's ass. Fiona wakes up and has to hurl, but is cut off for the bathroom by Nick, so she runs and vomits out of Debbie's window right onto Frank.
Isn't that like another callback? Doesn't like Carl piss on Frank too in the very beginning?
It's Lip pisses on Frank in the first season, but Carl pisses out the window in season 4.
Yeah. Frank, who is camping out in the backyard with a Mexican family, like this came out of nowhere. They got kicked out of their home. They got evicted. And so Frank is like, I'm going to rent out the backyard to them. Also, they're fucking incredible chefs. They're such good cooks. He's like, have you had their tamales? Let's keep them forever. They know how to cook.
This starts a kind of a storyline that continues into like season 7, I feel like, or like lays the groundwork for something that comes up in season 7.
Yeah,
are you talking about the tamale girl that Carl dates?
It's something. It's with Frank and like what? Anyway,
I don't even know if I remember what you're talking about.
This is a moment of showing you that the neighborhood is being gentrified. This family was kicked out of their house, so now Frank took the opportunity to rent them space in the backyard. And then Kev and V go to visit Yanis in the hospital, and he is just the most racist man. He's checking himself out of the hospital because he doesn't trust any of his non-white doctors, and he believes the Lisas are responsible for his accident, and he's just so racist and hateful with every word out of his mouth.
Like, Giannis's character is, like, funny, but, like, because, like, he just says the most absurd fucking things in the entire world. And, like, that's the only thing that I'm just, like, I feel like everything he says is just, like, a little bit, like, digging deeper. And I'm just, like...
Right, well, it's, like, that's
like, why'd you have to write that? Like, you don't need to be that extreme. Like, you could be racist. The show is racist through and through. But I'm, like, you had to get so, like... misogynistic and like
but everybody knows a dude like that, so it's like,
yeah,
all right, I'll let it slide. Everybody knows a guy like that, and that guy got really fucked up in a horrible accident, so I don't know.
Back in the Gallagher kitchen, Carl bought the groceries for the whole family. He is providing. And Fiona's like, hey, where did this money come from? Are you back to selling drugs? He's like, no, I learned my lesson. I'm not selling drugs. Flash cut to him in the stall in school selling guns to the kids at school.
What a hustler. I love that skid.
But he's telling the truth. He's like, I'm not selling drugs. Ian and Debbie gang up on Fiona for being controlling over his meds and her pregnancy. They're like, yeah, who the fuck does she think she is? And Sean heads off to work. And Ian's like, oh, so Fiona gets to be late because she's fucking the boss. And she's like, can you drop it? Lip already got you a new job.
Well, it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Duh.
Like,
number 1, yes.
Yeah.
Number 2, when she shows up, she's good at her job.
And she's assistant manager.
She's a manager. Managers
show up
can
at
kind of
whatever
come up.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
My managers are never on the schedule. They're just there.
But that's how we get the piece of exposition that Lip has gotten him a new job. And then we go to Carl and Nick. Carl and Nick agree to drop Liam off on their way into school. And then with the house to themselves, Fiona tells Debbie that she is also pregnant. And Debbie at first is like, fuck you. I don't believe you. And then she's like, oh my God, for real? We can raise our babies together? They're going to be sister cousins. It's going to be so fun. And Fiona's like, no. No.
She immediately is like, oh, okay, cool. So, like, we're both having our babies.
Yeah, Fiona's like, I'm very sorry about how harsh and cold I was, but now we can go through these abortions together. Won't that be fun?
Right, it's like, we can raise our babies together. Nope, we can get our abortions together.
Matching abortions. And then Debbie is like, fuck you, I'm not getting an abortion. You're a horrible human being. You didn't even bother to divorce your husband. You just ghosted him.
He also ghosted her, did he not?
Oh, yeah, it worked both ways. But then she adds, and now you're gonna ghost your baby.
Funniest line ever said.
She's making her baby a ghost.
And Fiona answers that by running to throw up, which is when Frank comes in and Debbie's like, hey, Frank, walk me to school. And he goes, what? Like I'm your father? Like, he finishes the question. He's like, oh, right.
Like, yeah.
He's just like, he's like, all right, fine.
And we cut to Ian parentheses, who honestly looks so hot in this episode. It's something with the hair.
It's like so good. He's like so sexy.
He's at Lip's dorm room. I promise no dorm hallway has ever looked like that.
What did it look like? I don't remember.
It's so like big and spacious.
And like a beer pong table and constantly people like hanging out in the hallway.
Oh yeah, they have parties in the hallway like they had in the last season. And I was like,
they ain't never happened before.
To me.
That has never
like
happened.
People would have parties in their rooms, but like you can't have parties in the hallway. That's the whole point of the RA is they'll bust underage drinking.
Yeah.
If it's
maybe
out
in the 80s,
the hallway like that.
But like,
right, but like come on, bro.
Ian tries to hang out with Lip, but Lip's like smack in the middle of homework. Like he's in the zone. And he's got classes today, so like he can't hang out with Ian. And then Ian's like, "Thank you for hooking me up with this job." And Lip's like, "Yeah, I'll introduce you to my prof who made it happen." And then it just kind of gets awkward, and they're just sort of sitting in the same room.
Yeah, because Ian's just like sitting there like awkwardly on his bed, because he's like expecting Lip to like hang out, and Lip's like, actually I gotta do stuff. He's like, okay, like, what am I supposed to do?
Like, Ian, go play on your phone or something.
Yeah, so he gets up, he's like, "Okay, I have to go check in at the new job, okay, bye."
It's really weird.
And then we go back to Frank walking Debbie to school. She's filling him in on the pregnancy news for her and Fiona. And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm going to be a grandfather." "You're already a grandfather. Chucky exists."
He doesn't count him.
Yeah. And he tells her that Fiona is wrong, that Debbie is in the prime of her life for having babies, and that Fiona waited too long to have a baby anyway. And then he says, when Monica was pregnant with Carl, I tied her to the bed and kept her loaded until Carl was too big to abort.
That's crazy.
And so
I'm like, he's definitely just like exaggerating, but it's like, bro.
Also, what are we aging Fiona at right now?
Fiona is in her mid-20s at the most, but he's saying that Debbie is in the prime of her life to have a baby at 14.
Get out of here.
And so they hatch an intervention scheme to convince Fiona not to have an abortion. And then he goes, "Okay, see you later. Gotta go to my cancer support group." And she goes, "Frank, do you have cancer?" He's like, "Not that I know of."
No, but don't they make like a play on like he's like an intervention for an abortion, like a abortion. Like he like makes some like stupid fucking joke about like trying to say like a intervention for an abortion. He's like, "I've never
for
been
Fiona."
To an
He's like,
yeah,
because she's like, we're all gonna get together and tell her that she shouldn't get an abortion. And it's like, girl, what are you to say anything about that? Do you pay the bills in the house?
Exactly.
Carl pays the bills in the house. Carl should be the one to say.
And meanwhile, Frank's gonna go to his cancer support group to pick up chicks. He's gotta go. And then back to Ian heading into his new job on campus, and we are greeted with a legendary character actor, Mike Haggerty. He's a Chicago native. He's the only genuine accent in the show. He was Mr. Traeger, the building super on Friends, the one who did ballroom dancing lessons with Joey, if either of you ever watched Friends. He's also been in episodes of huge shows like Married with Children, Family Ties, Murphy Brown, Star Trek, Seinfeld, and even an episode of Glee. Evan, it was the episode Special Education. In
Stop, I literally was like reading it, and I was like, what episode? And then it says Evan. Wait, Special Education. I think he just plays a teacher or a janitor. And
I think so. Janitor is his niche.
Yeah.
That is his niche. But, like, I saw him.
So
like, oh,
funny.
yeah, that is the man from Chicago. That is the actor from Chicago that I recognize.
What's his name again?
His name is Mike Haggerty. He's, like, the guy that you would envision as having done the voice for the pig in Toy Story. Like, that was not him, but that is the voice that you picture.
He's not alive anymore?
He's not?
He died.
Wait, what?
In May of 2022.
Oh, sad.
Oh, that's so sad now.
Well,
Wait, did either of you ever watch Friends?
Yeah, but I honestly, like, he was on Good Luck Charlie!
He died, he was in a coma after suffering from a seizure. He was 67. His seizure was caused by an adverse reaction to antibiotics he was taking for an infection in his leg.
No!
That's so fucked up.
He was a fucking legendary character actor.
No, yeah, I'm looking at his IMDb right now, or his, like, Wikipedia filmography.
Yeah.
Good Luck, Charlie. Happy endings.
I just said Good Luck, Charlie.
Community. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, he was the captain. Yeah. Goldbergs.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
He was in fucking Star Trek. Like, yeah.
But oh my god, he was in Entourage.
Yes.
Damn. And I will say, like, for being a character actor or whatever, he had just done a stint on Somebody Somewhere, 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Right before his death.
He was like, he's a face you recognize, he's a voice you recognize. Billing. Yeah. But he's fantastic in this. And he plays a character named Ron, and the other guy in the scene's name is Todd. Todd has a plate in his head, so he's a little bit off. And they told Ian, they're like, Ian, is that with 3 letters? He's like, yeah. They're like, you're lucky, because it's you got to pay extra to get more than 3 letters on your name tag.
Is that why Todd's just TOD?
Yeah, he was like, Todd lost a D, and he was like, Dave lost his E, and it's like, Dav.
Dav.
Oh, no, he played a judge on, was this sectionals or was this regionals?
It was season 2.
That was
special education.
Yeah.
It's episode 9, so yeah, regionals, because it's the smaller one. Yeah, he played a judge.
I knew you would need regionals. To know what episode it was.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, everybody. I love Glee.
But rest in peace, I didn't know.
No, that's so sad. Like, way to break. Wait, wow.
Well, because I was just looking up his picture, and then it was like, Mike Haggerty was, and I was like, what?
No.
Way to bring the mood down, Lena.
But he's great. It's a delight to see him in this. This is a janitorial job. Like I said, you cast him as a janitor. That makes sense. He's emptying trash all day. And then we bounce from this school to another school. Carl is walking around his campus like he fucking owns the place, speaking with his new black scent, telling Nick, he's like, don't worry, I hope you find your dream bike one day. And then Carl hits on a girl, Dominique, and she tells him, I already told you and your cornrows to leave me alone.
Why'd she eat that?
He said, why you gotta diss the Rose? They never did nothing but love you.
Her falling for him is like the biggest disservice ever.
No, literally.
Because it's like, she was so right. Well, when does she start falling for him? Is it after he drops his whole thing?
Yeah, it's after he takes the cornrows out, which is only like 2 or 3 episodes from now.
But like, he said that to Dominique, never did nothing but love you. And I was like, Carl, I hate you so bad. And then he goes on a rant about how skin color doesn't mean anything, and how his brother Nick sees back past all of that. And then Debbie walks up.
They had Ethan at like 15 or 16 doing that. Like, that's sick.
Oh, and then the shit, like, when he talks to her dad, dude.
Hey, yo, white girl, I don't know you.
Yeah. Debbie walks up and she's like, hey, we're going to do an intervention for Fiona. Are you in? And like, I went up from immediately being like, Carl, I hate you so bad. And he turns to Debbie and goes, no, white girl, I don't know you. I'm like, Carl, I love you so bad, actually.
White girl, I don't know you.
It was immediate. Like, he didn't think about it for a second.
He didn't even turn around.
He's been saying that at home.
The principal comes out and says he needs a word with Carl. And it's the same principal from Back to School Night. We love consistency. And then Kev and V come into Patsy's. Kev is racked with guilt about what he's done to Yanis. And Fiona tells Kev, yeah, can you go sit down over there? I need to talk to V. And she pulls V in the back. And the minute that they're behind a closed door, she's like, I'm pregnant! Right away. And then V's like, no, Debbie's pregnant. And Fiona's like, yeah, turns out we got a 2-for-1 over at our place. She's like, it's like a fucking sick joke, V. We're both knocked up. She wants to keep hers. Ian hates my guts. Carl is like turning into a fucking criminal. And she starts crying. She's like, what is this? And V's like, oh, it's the hormones. You start leaking out your face till the babies are born. Then you start leaking out your titties.
So real.
And then they hug. It's a very best friend moment. It's a really great best friend moment. And it's a little bit like I believe that someone who wrote Grey's Anatomy wrote this. Because like Christina and Meredith, yeah, very this.
The bickering.
And then V asks whose it is. And Fiona's like, Sean's or maybe Gus's or possibly Jimmy's.
When was the last time she had seen Jimmy?
Plus, I don't think he finished.
Listen, it don't take much.
Damn.
I know. But like,
wait,
they were barely.
I mean, 5.
That toward the end of season 5.
But the timeline, there's like not really a timeline jump between the seasons.
Yeah, And
as much.
V laughs when Fiona's like, these are the 3 people whose baby it could be. And V's like, I'm sorry to laugh. It's not funny, haha, but it's funny, slutty. And Fiona's like, I don't have to tell any of them because I'm getting rid of it. It doesn't matter. I'm getting rid of it. And then she's like, I do have to go see Gus, though, because Debbie accused me of ghosting him, and it's bothering me. And V's like, see, it's bothering you because it's true. You did.
But it's like,
him.
He hasn't been reaching out to her, I don't think. So it's like,
yeah, but she is the one that exploded it and walked away.
She did also keep the ring, did she not?
She did.
Yeah.
That's the whole the impetus
it.
behind this.
Yeah.
No, she still has
God. Your grandmother's Holocaust ring.
Yeah.
The pussy ring.
Yeah. And Fiona's like, his band has a gig tonight. I saw it on Facebook. And V's like, go, give back the ring, get your house in order, and then come home and tell Debbie you've done that, and tell her to do the same by evacuating her underaged womb. The mom wisdom kicking in here. In the principal's office, he tells Carl that students talk, and he's heard that Carl is selling weapons. And at first it seems like Carl's in trouble. And then he's like, you know about all the school shootings in the area recently? I want a Glock. Get me a Glock with hollow tip bullets so that if I hit the shooter, it doesn't go through him into some innocent kid. It's like, okay.
What a principal wants to protect his kids, I guess. Like, all right.
And then back at work, Carl is stunned. The man is too stunned to speak. Back at work, Fiona tells Sean, all of her work is up to date. Can I leave early? I have to handle some personal shit. And he's like, yeah, if you can tell me what it is that you're leaving to do. He's like, don't just say personal shit and walk out the door.
Well, it's like, I'm your boyfriend. What do you mean personal shit?
Literally.
And like I said here, for all of his faults, he can read her like a fucking book. And like, she needs somebody like that to call her on her bullshit. And she's like, okay, so I'm going to go convince Debbie to go to the clinic, and then I'm going to see Gus tonight. And he's like, why? And she's like, to tell him that it's over, and that I'm sorry, and to give him back his grandmother's ring.
Was that so hard?
Yeah. He's like, why didn't you just tell me that? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. Because my default is to lie. I don't know. And he's like, okay, go and do that. And she kisses him goodbye. See, I'm literally still rooting for them. Outside the diner, Frank is waiting to congratulate her on the baby.
See, I see what you're talking about with the pacing, because why not just go straight to them walking on the street and talking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why not continue? Because that's something that the older Shameless would have done, was turn that into, like, a longer scene.
And they've done that so many times, like, following them through, like,
because it's like, because
places.
then I'm looking at the notes here, so, like, sorry to jump ahead a second, but it's like, why jump right to the clinic? He's already been talking to her for, like, 20 minutes as she's been walking.
Yeah. No, I agree. I fully agree. Back at school, Carl is hitting on Dominique again and using his new in with the black principal to pretend his blackness is validated. And the principal's in on it now that he's getting a gun from him.
He's like, I just want to congratulate my fellow black student, Carl Gallagher.
So,
I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Was this around the same time that, like, the Rachel Dolezal scandal broke?
No, that was years before this.
Years before. Okay.
Who dat?
So I'm like the transracial lady who was just like a white lady
who
did blackface and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what is this like?
She's still kicking
I see what the selling guns is in response to. It's like the uptick in school shootings, but like, what is Carl in response to his whole
It's
thing?
this show trying to be the edgy thing it's always been.
I think it's just they're playing on that he went to juvie, so now he's
now he's black.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, and it's like, I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation in the writer's room, because how did that come up?
Yeah, like, keep in mind it's a room full of white people writing this. That's what it is.
Yeah, like them having like a black kid hand him a do-rag right when he goes into juvie. They were just like, all right, cool, this is going to be Carl's plot for a little bit.
Yeah. The white kid pretending to be a black kid and getting other black people in the show to validate that fake blackness. And also the racism coming out of the one male character. This episode was written by a white woman. That's for damn sure.
I will say, like, at least, not even to be like brownie points, because it's like, you know, all fucked up. But at least Dominique, like, doesn't
fall for it.
Accept his advances. Yeah, she doesn't fall for it until he drops the whole shtick. But then like she ended up being like, but then she ended up being shitty, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah, fuck her.
At Giannis's house, Kev is putting up a sign that says, "Welcome home, neighbor," spelled Naybor.
My dyslexic king.
And he's trying to clean up the yard, and the Lisas see him doing that. They're like, "Oh, we'd like to do something neighborly, like put up a new fence, or put in some hedges, or do this or that." And Kev is like, "Oh my god, stay the fuck away from this man's house." Oh, no.
Well, it's like, dude, not gonna lie, you live in a city. So, like, these renovations that you want to do to people's yards and stuff, that just doesn't work with the landscape you live in anyway. Like, I feel like I would be really weirded out, like, walking down the street in a city and there's a hedge. I'd be like, huh?
And then we go to, like, just like no dorm room hallway looks like this, no fucking high school bathroom looks like this. A girl is changing her baby on the floor. There's a line for the stalls, and you can hear somebody fucking in the stalls. The girl that Debbie is talking to in line walks over and pisses in the sink. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Isn't there like a girl in a wheelchair in front of her being like, I'm next, and then
and then Debbie cuts her in line.
Oh, because she's like, expect it, mother.
Doesn't she like cross off like the handicap sign and write like, and then draws like a pregnant woman? She's like, this stall is for moms, and because the other girl's like, the fuck, this is for me too.
Yeah. And Debbie's like, once Fiona has her baby, everything will be easier, because then Fiona can watch them both at once, because that's easier for Fiona.
Fiona's ass is at work, bro.
Yeah, then she cuts the girl in the wheelchair, and the girl's like, wow, you fucking suck. And then we go to the clinic, where Frank is with Fiona for some reason. Again, this could have been a walk and talk. She's trying to make an appointment for her abortion, but she has Frank in her ear yapping pro-life shit the whole time. And then she's like, can I schedule for next week? And they're like, you need someone to pick you up. Do you have a husband or boyfriend? And Frank goes, she has both.
He ate.
Every once in a while, he's got a zinger.
Seriously got her.
Yo, it's like generally the funniest character on this goddamn show, but some of his...
He's got to filter him out. Back to the neighborhood, Kev is bringing Giannis home, and he sees the neighborhood cleaning up his yard, and, like, grabs the wheel and makes Kev crash the car. And then he hops out and fully flops to the ground face first because he's paralyzed.
And all the Lisas are just like, you just trying to fucking hit us?
I mean, he thinks they're the ones who cut his brakes. So it's like, I understand his reaction wholeheartedly, pretty much, because he's like, they tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But this is...
But what he doesn't know is that it's like, no, Kev cut it by accident because he thought it was the throttle.
This was another thing that was like, wow, that was a quick scene of nothing, and now let's cut out of this. Like, what's happening in this episode?
I guess, is it just to, like, fulfill a time jump? But a lot of this stuff doesn't even, like, need a time jump.
Yeah. Because most of it's just, like, a day, like, 2 days. This is still one day, and then I think
it's the same day.
Yeah,
it's just like supposed to be like an hour later or something.
Yes, I feel like every one of these episodes is only one day. This is crazy. Over to Ian again.
I like that though. Like, it makes me feel more involved, if that makes any sense.
That we're with them for like 2 weeks,
a day.
like 2 weeks total. Yeah.
No, it's just like, I don't know. It's cool to me because, like, instead of just like how we feel like sometimes with other episodes, you're just like, what the fuck happened? But now you're just like, oh, I can literally tell you their play by play.
Because it's like a lot of plot doesn't hinge on like actual physical action. It hinges on like interpersonal dynamics or
it's a lot of
emotional
conversation
beats.
heavy.
Yeah, which I really like shows like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm here.
And I think that's why the show is like has kicked it for so long, because it's just like so unique, because it's more personable than just like the average just like sit down show. Because I'm just hanging out with these characters for a day. This is great.
And then we go over again to Ian. He's like coming into Ewan's office to clean it. And then, but Ewan and Lip are in there. Cam's accent, so terrible. The way he says trash.
Like a Chicago accent?
Yeah, his Chicago
Bro,
accent
why
is so
even
bad.
try? Like,
no
one else is putting on a Chicago accent in this show.
This was when Cam started to method act.
He was getting so into it.
He was like, I am Ian.
Professor Ewan's kind of tears into Ian for not finishing high school, and like it immediately knocks Ian down a peg. Like any confidence he's gained from being employed, immediately gone.
Yeah, it was rude.
Will say, because like Ian had a lot of potential, but I will say, like, someone having a psychotic break, kind of a valid reason to not finish high school.
Exactly.
For sure.
But also it's like, you didn't get your GED.
Yeah, you could have gone back. You've decided not
I mean,
to.
he does get it eventually, I'm pretty sure. But it's like...
Yeah.
He's also decided to fight his diagnosis and fight his meds every step of the way. Like, he's still in that part of it.
He ain't completely healed.
Right, which is also, like, it is also, like, understandable.
Yeah, that's a phase of it. That's part of coming around to it. And then Debbie comes home and meets one of the people renting the yard. And Frank tells her Debbie is pregnant. And in Spanish, the woman asks, is it too late for an abortion? And Debbie's like, oh my god, gracias.
She is so funny sometimes.
And then Frank tells Debbie he's going to teach her how to take advantage of the welfare system now that she's pregnant. And Carl offers to pick up Liam from school because Debbie's like, Frank, I can't go with you. I have to pick up Liam. Carl's like, I have to pick him up. I want to introduce him to someone. He wants Dominique to see he has black family. And back to Ian and Lip again. Again, the bouncing around bothers me in this episode. Lip describes Ewans as frank except employed.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I think.
He is as smart as Frank thinks he is.
Yeah, he just somehow was able to... But he just graduated college, unlike Frank.
And honestly, too, like, Frank is very smart.
Yeah.
So it's like...
He's just not intelligent.
Yeah. But he does know a lot of things, which is just, like, an interesting character trait. Like, he does know a lot of random facts.
Yeah. And he did go to college. He just didn't finish.
Yeah, and, like, especially in, like, the later seasons, like, he's very, like, hip with, like, what's going on, too. Like, he knows what's up. Knows.
Lip runs into a classmate while he's talking to Ian and, like, justifying Ewans' behavior. And they start discussing Schrodinger's cat, because it's what they were learning in class. And the conversation confuses Ian and makes him feel stupid. And so he bails and says, I gotta go clock out.
That's
Goodbye.
me all the time.
They were definitely talking about the actual physics concept, though, not just like the like philosophical Schrodinger's cat, where it's like, oh, if you open the box? They were definitely talking about like the equations part of it.
Yeah, nerds. And then back to Frank and Debbie. He's telling her how much she can get per month for her baby, and then he tells her, "We'll get you signed up. Then we'll work on Fiona, who has already made her abortion appointment, by the way." And she goes, "Shit, do you know how to do an intervention?" And Frank's like, "Yeah." Never been on this side of one, but yeah. And then they get to the front of the line, and Frank's like, we need to sign her up because of this. And then they hand him forms, and he's like, no, you're missing a form here. Give that to me right now.
I know, he's like, you're missing, like, B2 form. And she's like, oh, my apologies.
He's been around the block once or twice. Carl brings Liam to Dominique's house, where her dad answers the door, who I think is a cop, because he's got one of those cop shoulder holsters
He
on.
is a cop.
You would be right.
This is, I think, how Carl starts to get into, like, military and cop stuff.
Yeah, this is where, like, Carl propaganda starts.
Which is, like, at first presents a really interesting, like, father-son type dynamic, actually. And then when this character goes away, it kind of starts to be stale, like how we know
they lost like the I feel like they lost
the
like,
heart
the
that was the basis for Carl's like motivation for becoming a cop.
But then when you take that away and then you just have like cop Carl on the south side, you're like, ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
Carl introduces Liam to the dad and is like, this is my biological brother, we have the same mom, same dad. Dom's been calling me white all day. And then he drops the N-word in relation to himself. And like, okay, white boy Carl has fully arrived. And the dad hears him say that and then picks up a baseball bat and says, I will give you a 10-second head start. Take Shaq with you. Referring to Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carl and Nick run away while the dad is counting down, but we stay with the dad and Liam is standing right there.
This part is so funny.
Well, because Liam's like, I'm a little kid.
I'm just here.
And so Carl has to double back while the dad is counting and grab Liam and run away. I like the way that just stayed with the dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Carl has to come running back into the frame, actually. Back to Fiona, who's now out at the bar with V, and she's like, I don't know what to say to Gus. And V's like, how about I'm pregnant with what may be another man's baby, so we should probably get a divorce. Here's your ring. But he's already on stage, like, getting his shit set up, and she goes over to talk to him, and it's awkward. And she tries to start talking, but they get cut off. And he tells her he's glad she's here, that he wrote a song for her, and that he invites her to stay. And so she and V are like, all right, let's go to the bar and get a drink.
Because even V's like, we're staying?
Over to Ian again. Seriously, fucking hate the story structure of this. How are we only halfway through the episode? There's a party in the hallway, which once again, not gonna happen. But Ian starts playing beer pong with Lip and his friends, and then we cut back to Fiona. Gus is giving her a shout out as his wife while he's on stage, and then he starts a song called The F Word. And listeners, this is the first time I've ever heard this song.
The meatiest, juiciest song good. That I've been excited for you to see.
Did you watch the lyric video on YouTube? There's like a kind of pseudo music video for it.
I didn't, but I was paying attention to every word he was saying.
It's good.
I got married to the F word and my heart slowly died. Fucking Fiona was fucking everyone. Fuck you, Fiona, because now I'm done.
Ooh.
I feel real bad for Fiona. This must be so hard. Shit was catchy.
And I love the entire scene. Like, Gus is just, like, making eye contact the entire time. And then everyone's heads slowly start turning towards her as he progressively sings, like, more harsher lyrics. Oh!
Why do I feel like the crowd, like, parts like the Red Sea?
Well, they all, because he's like, hey, everybody, look, that's my wife over there. This song is about her. And they all just slowly start to look at her like, oh, shit. This is like, you know, that Pete Davidson meme, like, talking about Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. He's like, I love you, right? Shit was catchy. Shit is very catchy.
Shit is very catchy.
And, like, Fiona is steaming, but I'm like, I could listen to Fuck You, Fiona all day, actually.
That man also just can sing so well, and he's so sexy. I still follow him on Instagram.
You say that every week. It's so funny.
Hey, and it's still true.
Over to Ian in the dorm again, sitting on the floor, wasted as hell, looking like Jerome. Jerome looking ass.
He looks pale as shit in this scene. Like, he looks like he's actually drunk. Method actor.
Yeah. Ian asks if he can crash in the dorms for a while, that the house is hard. He starts with, like, can I crash here? And Lip's like, oh, tonight? Yeah, absolutely, you can fucking crash here. And Ian's like, I mean, the house is hard, and, like, we've shared a room for our whole lives, so, like, and you got a room to yourself, so why don't I crash here for a while? Why don't I stay here? And Lip takes a second and tries in the nicest way possible to say, like...
He's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, he's like, I've earned my space, I think, actually, and you can crash here whenever you want, just, like, you can't move in. Like, you can't move in.
He already dealt with that. Wait, is this pre-Kev or after?
It's after Kev.
Okay, yeah, so this is after Kev. He already dealt with a fucking roommate. He's over it.
But it's like, he was like, listen, you're my brother and I love you. And, like, of course you can come here and party and crash, and that's great. But, like, I'm doing this college thing, and I need my space. Like, I need that. I need you to give me that. And Ian
Which
does
was
not
so
like
right. That. It was so right. But from Ian's perspective, he's like, I'm really struggling. Everything in my life just got turned upside down. And, like...
Lip's the last person on his side.
But it's also like, bro, you don't even want to be living there.
Yeah.
Like, what? You want to sleep? You want to sleep on Lip's floor at his college dorm?
He just needs to not face somebody who's making him face his mental health issues. He needs to, like, he wants to run away from that. So he's like, I can hide here. And Lip's like, no, you can't. And we go back to Fiona she's back from being roasted like a chicken, just absolutely roasted alive. And Sean is outside of Patsy's, smoking. And he's like, how was Gus? She goes, angry. He was fucking angry. I left after a few songs. And she's like, how was your day?
So did she leave after F.U. Fiona, or did she
stay?
Yeah, did she stay for more?
I really wish we would have seen the end of it. I wish she, like, threw a ring at him and then just, like, left.
Yeah.
Been like, fuck. Like, no. She kept the ring.
She kept the ring.
And then she pawns it later, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, how was your day with the not doing drugs thing? He's like, it went great. I didn't do any drugs. She's like, yay.
Like, you had one goal and you accomplished it. I'm so proud of you.
She starts to cry and he asks, oh, are you going to dump me because of my slip? Like, is this over now because I slipped and I was on drugs? Because you've been acting weird ever since I told you and now you're crying. And she's like, no.
I love how he just says everything. He just says it always, like, so nonchalant. But, like, he's, like, genuinely, like, can you, like, fucking tell me? But it's just like, you've been acting, like, really weird. Can you, like, tell me what is happening with you?
Yeah. And she's like, the crying is because Gus wrote a song called The F Word and played it, and it was about me. And he goes, that's such a pussy move. If I were him, I would have just burned your house down. He is so fun. I'm having a hard time not, like, rooting for him. Like, knowing he doesn't laugh because I love him.
I love him.
Like, all things considered, he is probably one of the best boyfriends she ever had. All things considered.
And, like, that him little joke is like, I would have just burned your house down. That makes her smile.
Well, because it's like
laugh.
He gets her.
Doesn't he make a joke at her, like, was the song any good, though? And then she starts, like, laugh crying again.
She's kind of like, yeah. Like, it was catchy.
It was kind of good. He
asks when she's leaving at the end of the scene, he's like, can you sing me a few bars? And she just flips him off.
That's what it was.
She kisses him and she tells him she loves him and she invites him home. And he's like, no, I have to go to a meeting, but let me walk you home. She's like, no. Go to your meeting. That's important. Go to your meeting. And, like, I like them so much. I like him so much. Like, more than I liked her with Jimmy, I like him so much.
Like, I will never be mad at him. Will always be sad for him. Like, like, the way they describe addiction and talk about it within this show, like, they always try to be like, they're not a bad person, but I feel like they really used his storyline to villainize him with his addiction when they've dealt with so many other addictions in the show. So, like, I always feel for him.
They kind of, not even, like, in the moment, it's more, like, after the fact.
Yeah.
Like,
but still, regardless,
after
like,
his kind of blows up. But, like, I will say, the one thing that he doesn't have that her and Jimmy always had was, like, seriously raw sex appeal. Like, they're both sexy and they're sexy together, but there was some insane chemistry going on between Jimmy and Fiona.
Yeah. I agree. She and Justin had great chemistry. Let's flash back to last week of her and Sean in that opening scene of that episode.
I hate that scene. And then the ending scene of that episode.
Oh, that was hot. Like,
he's sexy, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, just like Fiona and an older dude, it's not for me.
The next morning, Fiona wakes up again and pukes, morning sickness. And then she goes downstairs where there is baby shit everywhere. And Frank and Debbie and Kev and V and the family from out back are there for an interbortion.
So funny. So funny. Absolutely hilarious.
V is like, I am here for you. I came here to support you. And Kev's like, I'm here because I paralyzed a guy and I feel guilty.
He's like, oh, it feels so great.
He's like, I'm here because V's here and I can't be left alone.
And then Frank tries to get religious on her. And she's like, can you name our priest? And he's like, Gallagher's don't abort. She's like, no, you just abandon your kids after you have them or drink so much you don't remember them. And Kev, she says that, and Kev from the sidelines is like, boom!
Love him.
And Frank says, that is the Irish way. And he tells her he had to talk Monica out of having an abortion with Fiona, and look how well that worked out.
Well, I bet Fiona's like, I did not ask to be born. I did not ask to be born. Literally. My life's going kind of shitty right now.
Could have saved us all a lot of trouble, actually. And Debbie's like, I want our babies to be cousins and play together. And Fiona's like, they are not cousins. They are not babies. They are the size of warts. And when you get a wart, you freeze it off. And again, Kev from the sidelines is like, damn, that's cold. And V smacks him. She's like, you are not watching a tennis match on the TV. People can hear you. And then V offers the words of a mother. She's like, I love my babies, but I was not 15 when I had them.
Logic.
One, it's like Fiona's already got a bunch of babies to take care of.
Yeah, she
like
literally.
I think she knows too. Like, it wouldn't be fair to her child if she had all these other responsibilities as well.
Yeah. Like, who knows in 10 years if she wants to have her own kid? But like, my God, she's been raising kids for her entire life. She does not need another one.
Liam still has at least 12 more years.
Yeah,
Liam is like 4 or 5. Yeah.
If I'm aging him with the seasons, he should be like 5 or 6.
He should be like 5 or 6, but since not all the seasons take place over a year, it's like he's like 5.
Yeah.
But still.
Fiona breaks up the meeting to go have breakfast. She's like, fuck this, I'm going to have breakfast. And she tells Frank, if you say another word, you will be sharing a mattress with your friends out back. You will not be welcome back in this fucking house. And then we go to the dorms. Ian is cleaning up a mess from the party. He's like mopping up puke. And Lip tries to help by mopping up the hallway puke, because it's probably mine. And Ian's like, fuck off. I don't want your help. Leave me alone. And he's like, I do not want to hear about how hard it is in your job as a TA while I stand here cleaning up your fucking puke. And Lip fights back. He's like, hey, if you want a better job, go fucking finish high school and get a better job, because you can aim higher and you're just choosing not to.
This scene sucks because it's like Lip didn't really do anything. It's just Ian needs somewhere to take his anger out on.
Yeah. And this is brothers being real with each other in only a way that siblings can.
Well, it's also like they've had this exact conflict before. Like this is a part of their relationship as a whole. Ian feels like he's living in Lip's shadow all the time. And the truth of the matter is he is a lot of the time. Like, how do you measure up to your brother who's a genius? Like, it's just like, you know.
One thing I do respect about this show is that they have mastered the way that siblings talk to each other. Because, like, you're right. Only your brother or sister can talk to you like this. Only they can get that real with you. And, like, because they're right, but you're going to be pissed at them anyway because fuck you.
Right. And I think Ian does know that Lip is right.
Yeah. He doesn't want to accept that a lot of people are right about a lot of things about him right now. He can't accept it. So he won't. And, like, bottom line here, Ian feels like Lip is looking down on him. And that's because Lip is looking down on him. Because Lip expects more of him. Because he knows Ian can be more and do more.
Mm-hmm.
But then they start throwing punches until Lip's resident comes out and breaks it up. And Ian storms out and flips a table.
Oh, I remember that. That clip was so funny.
It's literally just like a foldable table. Like, it didn't need to be all that extra. Like, you gotta move that. Just embarrassing.
Over to high school, the AP calculus teacher corners Carl. He's like, are you even one of my am I even in your class? And she's like, I teach AP calculus. Of course you're not in my fucking class. But she's like, I know what you've been doing. I want a Smith & Wesson lady model gun with a pink handle, preferably.
And she's like, I have cash.
Yeah. So now he's dealing with multiple teachers. And Debbie comes home early from school, and she tells Fiona, I will support your decision to abort if you will support my decision to have the baby, because the only support I have right now is Frank, and he's Frank. And Fiona's like, listen, I do believe you're going to be a great mom. Someday. We can have babies together in 10 years. And Debbie admits, she's like, I didn't make a mistake. I did this on purpose. Like, she admits it. She's like, I tricked Derek into getting me pregnant. I did this. I wanted to do this.
At least she said it out loud. At least she's conscious.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's like, okay, right to choose. But
it's like, do you know how deranged you have to be to admit that you tricked someone into getting you pregnant?
Psychotic.
Oh, yeah. That's out of the question for sure. Like, in terms of the whole, like, abortion debate between, like, Fiona and Debbie, like should Debbie get an abortion? It's like, yeah, I think she should have the right to choose, but also it's just, like, I don't know. I have some feelings about, like, how entitled she should feel to support after having her baby then. Because I think a lot of the time after she has Franny, she's like, well, I mean, to her credit, like, she doesn't do this all the time, but she will be like, well, you guys have to help me because you're my family and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, honestly, they don't, though, because
you've admitted this is a choice you made. You
right,
made
exactly.
This choice.
And, like, yeah, to Debbie's credit, she is pretty independent after having Franny. You know, gets her GED and everything. So it's like, all right, yeah.
But, like,
it just sucks all around because it's like you baby trapped a guy, essentially.
Yeah.
You used a baby as a pawn and continue to use your baby as an object later.
And you don't even have the presence of mind to go like, oh fuck, I might have fucked up. I might have made a mistake. Like, there's no come to Jesus moment. You're just stuck in this. You've decided you're doing this. And Fiona's like, yeah, Debbie, Frank is the only person on your side. And that should fucking scare you. Because I'm not, this scene is cold as ice.
No, it is.
I'm not helping. I'm not changing a diaper. I'm not going to be woken up by your child. I'm not going to be there for you because you are not going to be here. You have this baby, you get the fuck out of this house. Like, cold.
Damn.
She did mother, but also
the most
like
mother Fiona has ever mothered, I fear.
But also like that doesn't end up happening. Debbie gets to stay in the house, of course.
Yeah, no, literally, but she has the baby immediately, and they're like, "Oh, welcome home."
I think she does have to pay rent. I'm also not entirely sure like what happens contextually around Debbie having the baby that makes Fiona like, okay, yeah, you can stay. But I do think she kind of has to start maybe paying rent.
No, she does.
It might be like
everyone
it's
does,
easy,
though, not just her.
It might be that it's easy to lay down the law when you think it might work and you think it might finally be the thing that pushes her to get the abortion, and like when it's just an idea.
Yeah. Right, because then when she actually sees the baby, she's like, all right.
Like, that's my niece.
Like, you can stay. All right, fine. Cute baby. Like,
but like Fiona like mothers in that scene has the stone cold mom face. And then Debbie leaves the room and Fiona breaks in that way that her face breaks.
She just like crumbles.
Yeah.
Ugly
and
cry.
She cries and Sean comes in because Fiona called in sick to work. She's like, yeah, because I'm sick. And he tells her he's clean and sober, and so he can listen and respond if she for fuck's sake can tell him what's going on. And then we cut away from that, however, for more of Giannis for some reason. Again, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fucking fit.
It's also just like, why could this not have happened after the rest of this scene?
Yeah.
Because I'm again looking at what comes after. Why could this not have come after?
Yeah, like the pace and the emotional weight of that scene we just saw could have continued for another couple of minutes with the conversation between Fiona and Sean. It's literally just Giannis being angry. That's the whole scene. And then we cut back to Fiona and Sean in her kitchen. He pokes at her a little until she finally spills. She's like, I'm pregnant. I'm not keeping it. And you don't get to have an opinion on that. And I don't know if it's yours. And you also don't get to have an opinion on that. Because I can't have an opinion on your drug use. So you don't get an opinion on this. And he sits there. And he takes that in. And then he goes, all right, I have to go to the bank and make a deposit. You want to come with me? Like...
I love them. I love you, Sean.
I am obsessed with them. I love him. No, I know it's going to end badly, but I love him.
Eat that shit up.
Listeners, Evan and Lena have been looking at each other conspiratorially every time that I say that I love Sean. Because they know things I don't know.
Not even conspiratorially, because I straight up just agree with you. Like, yeah. I'm just like, yeah. All things considered, he was probably Fiona's best boyfriend.
But you know things I don't know, and so you're like...
Yeah, I enjoyed their time together the most because he was, like, the most real person she dated. Like, not saying, like, they weren't real people, but, like,
right.
He tells you what the fuck is up. He doesn't care what's going on around you because he's been there, he's done that. Jimmy, like, everyone had their own components of why I really enjoyed her partners, but I feel like he was able to relate to her the most out of everyone she fucked with, and I think that's why, like, it's a different connection I feel for them than we do with, like, her and Jimmy. But, like, I don't know.
Right.
I love this guy.
I'm like, I feel like I asked myself the question a lot of, like, am I mad she didn't end up with this guy in the end? And it's like, honestly, no, I'm not mad that she didn't end up with any of her partners because I really think Fiona... like deserve to have some time alone in a good way, like in a way that allowed her to become more in touch with herself, because I feel like she never really got that. Even when she was single, I felt like she wasn't really connected to like who she was, and instead was just focusing on like whatever big problem was in front of her. So
or she was fucking around. She's like, I'm single but I'm fucking around, but like
right. Yeah. So I do like that she ended her time with being by herself.
I feel like as much as they're emphasizing his sobriety, that's a big hint that's a big reason that everything blows up. And so I feel like if he could have stayed sober and they could have built something together, like they could have been it, man. They could have been it.
It's a little nuanced, but we'll get there.
Yeah, because is it end of the season or end of season 7?
End of this season.
Gotcha. Yeah, because he sticks around for a couple, like at least, what is it, 3 seasons?
It's the end of this season because the end of next season is Monica.
Right.
Did they jump that fast with this season? Oh yeah, because Caleb's there. Duh.
I forget every time that Caleb's in this season. I think about it every couple minutes, and I'm like,
I think.
Well, the end of this episode will.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like,
you don't even meet Caleb. No, fun fact: you don't even meet Caleb in this episode. You meet Caleb next episode.
But at school, Dominique walks by, and Carl doesn't even try to hit on her. He doesn't see her. He doesn't hit on her, and she confronts him about it. She's like, "What? You don't got nothing to say today?" And she's like, my problem with you isn't your skin color. It's that you're acting like a gangbanger for no reason. And he goes, you don't like rap? And she goes, I prefer Shakespeare. A white woman wrote this.
But it's like, why would he even say that to just for her to be like, you're acting like a gangbanger? And he's like, you don't like rap? It's like,
and like,
when have you ever rapped once or talked about rap?
When did she say that? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? Whoa. Like,
but that, and then her response of I prefer Shakespeare, a white woman wrote this.
Oh, like, a Grey's Anatomy writer. Wait, she wrote on Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah, she did.
A Grey's Anatomy writer.
Yeah. Like if I didn't know that from the credits, I would know it from that interaction. And then Dom walks away a little, she smiles a little, and then a kid trips and drops his lunch tray, and it makes a loud banging noise. Which means every teacher, lunch lady, janitor, everybody pulls their fucking gun that Carl
This is how
them.
you do comic relief,
funny.
I think.
It's so funny.
But this is also the subtle, like, everybody's response is like, we'll give teachers guns. That'll solve everything. Like, kid dropped his lunch tray and they almost put a bullet in somebody. Over to the balls. Kev is feeling guilty about the Giannis thing still. And V's like, okay, so Giannis, maybe he didn't deserve working legs. He's kind of a piece of shit. Maybe this is the universe doing what it's supposed to do, and Kev saved the neighborhood by taking away this asshole's mobility, and you should let go of the guilt and focus on what's good in our lives, and the fact that you have 2 small children, and you cannot admit to him that you did this, or he'll kill you. Like, shut the fuck up, Kev. And in Lipstorm, he's smoking with his buddy, talking about how driven Ian was in high school, that he wanted to be a soldier, and that he thinks Ian's diagnosis dooms him to being their mom. And maybe it's true. And his buddy goes, maybe it's not. And you know what would have been fun with Lip and this guy? If they were fucking. That would be fun for me.
Yeah.
That man secreted nothing but loser. I would have never seen it coming.
I just think this is a great scene. I think because it's hard for Lip and Ian. I mean, it's never. No, let me take that back. It's never been that hard for Lip and Ian to talk to each other and to tell each other what they think of the other. But I think it's really important to see the way that Lip talks about Ian to other people. And I think the reverse is true. There's a really good scene in season 7 where Ian, I mean, I'm not even really going to spoil it, but Ian talks to somebody else about Lip. And I just think like that's a way that you get a lot of depth on their relationship and like how they view each other.
Yeah.
So I really like this scene.
And like I did really like hearing him, like, you know, that I hype Zoe up and her talent to like everybody who will listen to me. Like, yeah, that's I like seeing somebody talk about their sibling like this. Also, just dynamically with the amount that this guy has been in this episode, it's like, wouldn't it be fun if he and Lip were fucking? Wouldn't that be fun?
It's so funny when they do that because it's like, you're telling me these people have friends? Like, no way. Like,
is it the one who fell out of the window last season?
Oh yeah, I'm like this guy is just a glorified prop at this point.
Yeah, he's just someone else that Lip can talk to.
Oh no, he wasn't the one that fell out the window.
No, it's literally some random who just like lives on the floor. I'm pretty sure. No, it's the guy who broke up the fight, right?
No, it's the guy he like does the coding with.
Hold on, he's the guy with the weed. He's the weed connection who is also the hacker that Lip tried to get him to hack.
Ah,
yeah.
So it is a legit Lip friend.
Yeah, and then remember he shows up again with Lip's internship.
Oh yeah.
And wouldn't it be fun if they'd been fucking the whole time? Wouldn't that have been fun?
Like, because they gave Lip no friends. They give Lip no friends in college besides this single fucking kid.
And his roommate, sort of, but like not really.
Oh yeah, that
ended Amanda
by that. Yeah, fuck Amanda. You see her again, unfortunately.
The show was so afraid of bisexuality. It was crazy.
Yeah. Lip and Fiona were so bi, it was insane. And, like, cowards for not chasing that.
That is a whole gay family.
Wasn't Fiona supposed to date some bitch in season 9?
Vanessa?
And they gave it to
Vanessa.
Debbie
What's her
instead.
name? Vanessa? Nessa.
There was supposed to be a gay Fiona storyline or a bi Fiona storyline, and they gave it to Debbie instead.
Boo.
Yeah. That was, like, around the same time-ish. Because they knew that she was heading out.
There's a quick insert of Ian walking down the street and catching a glimpse of himself and the Dove, like, name tag in the shop window. And he keeps it pushing.
So funny.
And then to Sean and Fiona walking up to the house to find an eviction notice taped to the front door.
Bum, bum, bum. Wait, next episode is Going Once, Going Twice, right?
I think so. But, like, don't they own their house?
Good.
Like, the cousin deal and everything.
They talk about it. They don't own it. They've been paying Patrick rent. And
$500.
And Patrick was supposed to use that rent to pay the mortgage.
And he hasn't been.
He has not been. So they do talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I think we actually see Patrick next episode.
Yeah. And so Ian, after that, like, moment of contemplation with Ian, now Ian is on a bridge. Does anybody think for a minute that they were like, that Ian is contemplating jumping? That is why why he's on the bridge.
That is why he's on the bridge.
And then he turns around when he sees and hears a really fucking bad car crash happen. And the one driver runs away and the other car catches fire. And Ian runs up to it. The driver's unconscious. Ian runs to the burning car, pulls her out of it right before it explodes. And he gets her out. He passes out. And he comes to when a firefighter is waking him up.
A handsome firefighter.
Cut to credits. The after credits scene is all of the teachers handing in their guns.
To the principal. It's so funny.
And the credits music was a heavy guitar track, Vipers by Rubicon.
So
rock and roll.
God, Ian is such a tragic character to me.
Yeah.
In so many ways. Because I'm like, he's always had this, like, passion for, like, saving and helping other people. I mean, as like, much of a victim as he was of, like, the military industrial complex of, like, preying on underprivileged kids, he really thought it would be, like, a way to help people. And then he wants to help people by, like, being an EMT or, like, a firefighter or whatever. Like, he just wants to be in, like, public service. And then he loses all of it.
Yeah.
And he ends up happy and married, but it's like he doesn't get to do, like, what he really, really loves to do, which is just, like, to help people. And that's really sad to me.
The next episode is Going Once, Going Twice, and the synopsis of that, like the sneak preview of the next episode. Fiona is confronting Patrick about the eviction notice, but her only choice is to get a mortgage from the bank. Ian bakes cookies for the firehouse and discovers he was saved by the shift of gay firemen.
It's like, Amanda, what fucking scene is serendipitous so coincidence? Like, that's something that happens in a TV show and no other time.
No, it's so funny.
It's so funny. Station 19, Krista Vernoff's other firefighter show, gay people everywhere.
She was like, there's a gay shift. They put all of them on one shift so that they don't fight with the straight people.
No, that's literally, they're like, they put all the gay guys on one shift so there's no, like, discomfort. I was like, damn.
That's so stupid. Because the number one, like cops will judge you and cops will be racist and homophobic and stuff. Firefighters are the least likely. Like,
they're like, okay, let's go fight this fire, bitch.
But, like, those are the kind of guys that are like, I really don't give a fuck what you look like or who you are. Can you pull me out of a burning building? Thanks so much. Like,
yeah.
So this episode, like I said, I fucking hated the pace of this episode. But
yeah, it's whack.
The F word, baby.
No.
With your fist of flame and fire.
Fucking Fiona was fucking everyone. Oh, fuck
I
you,
felt like I
Fiona.
could fly. But fucking
Fiona was
fucking
everyone.
That's
So
our
good.
I'll send you the
podcast,
link to
actually.
the official like lyric video they posted when this came out, because they used like the promo imagery for the season, the like really cool retro shoot.
Yeah.
So good.
We find a way to do a remix of it that's just different enough that we can't get copywritten, and we make that our theme song. All right, what did y'all think of this episode?
I like it.
I love Gus.
I love Gus. Or no, not Gus. Sean. I love Sean.
No, I love Gus. He's
I
sexy.
think it's an episode with big moves for Lip and Ian.
Yeah.
I think
This is not the last time we see Gus, by the way.
I think Carl's
Really?
storyline was like annoying but like tolerable.
But it's opening up a lot of Carl's
for the future.
Ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie's annoying as fuck.
Unfortunately, it is like, okay, she does move the plot along for other people, and Frank
Not
is
even
just
the
kind
rate
of
her
like
like a whole. Yeah, like basically like it's gonna be like the Frank and Debbie show for like a couple more episodes. Then it's gonna be like the Fiona Sean episode for like show for a couple episodes, and then it's gonna be the finale, and you're gonna be like, I feel like I'm missing something.
There's Lip stuff.
Lip and
too,
Ian makeup.
Lip and Ian, but there's also Lip on his own. Is this not when he moves into like the sorority house?
No, this is before. This is when all the stuff with Helene starts to it.
Helena starts. Okay.
It's because
Helene, yeah.
Helene. It's what. Remember, it's what. This is like an episode or two away from Amanda doing that thing.
Oh yeah, don't. Doesn't him and Helene like go to like a conference together or something?
Yeah, I think that's next episode. Because Fiona. Oh yeah, because he's calling Fiona back and forth about like the house. And he's like, "Do you want me to come home?" And she's like, "Nah, dude. Like,
your memory
good."
for some stuff is too good.
No, I literally watched all of season 6 like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, I'm like, I don't remember this shit at all.
I just no, so what I do is I binge the season like really fast, just because it's like my dinner show. It's my waking up in the morning show. So like it just plays. So like I just pick up on all the small details more than like the actual plots.
All right, it's 11:30. All
right, guys, you know the show. Hopefully,
thank you guys for jumping on and recording tonight. We got this one in the bag, and I'll edit it probably Monday, and then
hopefully we see you guys soon. We miss you guys so much. We miss being able to like actively converse with you guys throughout posting. But hopefully the SAG. Hopefully SAG gets their fucking proposal dealt with, because oh my god, did you see that video with Fran when she was like, "We're here, but where are they?
We're at the table. Where are you?"
It was so good. But hopefully we're hoping for the best, because we're over 100 days now, right?
On
for
SAG, yeah.
Because we were under 100 for writers, right? But now
we were at like 160 something for writers.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yeah,
I'm bad with numbers. Sorry.
All right, but until next time, until whenever we get to post the next one,
we miss you, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.